the Australian film and television industry into darkness. But Aussies are a resilient bunch and production is slowly returning. I caught up with Hollywood star Jane Seymour and director Michael Budd on the set of their upcoming film Ruby's Choice. Back in March, the global pandemic upended the Australian film industry, with an estimated 100 projects forced to close down virtually overnight. After months of being in shutdown, the cast and crew of Ruby's Choice were eager to get the cameras rolling again while keeping everyone safe. Jane, what did you have to go through to be here on set today?
They got me a special visa to come and do this movie, which was awesome. And in return, I had to do, like everyone else, 2 weeks of isolation.
Australia was one of the first countries to resume film production. The government set out a series of COVID-safe recommendations, and it was up to director Michael Budd to implement those guidelines.
Jane's safety is our priority. New South Wales residents' safety is our priority.
The numbers here in Australia, especially New South Wales, are amazing. Well done, well done. California, not so good.
Not so much. The normally stunning Jane is almost unrecognisable in the lead role of Ruby, a grandmother living with dementia.
It's a wonderful role. I think that the movie is very important because most people don't know how to deal with people with dementia or Alzheimer's. And I know for myself, my uncle had Alzheimer's, and I also made the film I'll Be Me, Glenn Campbell movie. And so I've been very involved with that world. It's a world that touches everybody. #1 cause of death for women in Australia.
This indicates that in all likelihood, your difficulties are due to Alzheimer's disease.
I'm not gonna miss you.
In 2014, Jane was the executive producer of the Oscar-nominated documentary I'll Be Me. The film charted country music star Glenn Campbell's journey with Alzheimer's disease and its devastating effects on him, his family and friends. I remember watching that and thinking, it's incredible. He can still play these incredible guitar licks and remember every note, but he'll turn around and doesn't recognise his own daughter.
He had trouble remembering the lyrics, so when he was performing, we'd have them on teleprompter for him. But then he'd forget he'd just sung the song and started over. So his daughter or Jimmy Webb, whoever was there, would say, no, we're not playing that, let's play. And so they were amazing. They'd just start playing the other song while he's playing the one we've just heard. And then he'd do that, and then he'd go, oh, okay, that's what it is.
I was so bright, my daddy called me son.
He had this ridiculously wonderful sense of humour, and he was happy. I got him painting in my studio. He'd never painted before. And I said, well, what do you want to do? And he said, I don't know. I said, what's your favourite colour? And he said, blue. And so I said, well, here. And put all the paint out, gave him a knife, and he started painting, and he started saying, am I blue? Am I blue? And
Riding out on a horse on a star-spangled rodeo.
he made, I think, 2 or 3 paintings, and we made limited edition chiclets of them and sold them for charity.
Jane prepared for months to play Ruby. She hand-picked her character's wardrobe, and her own signature brown mane is hidden underneath a tailored wig. And if that wig looks familiar, it's the one she wears on the hit Alan Arkin and Michael Douglas series, The Kaminsky Method.
Norma?
Madeline?
Oh, good, you remember.
Oh, God, I don't believe it. Look at you. You're more beautiful than ever.
This was the wig I wore as Madeline, and I told Michael, I said, I better bring the wig over because this is such a great wig. I'm a rare actress. I show up with everything. I bring the wigs, the costume. Yes, I'm even wearing some of my own clothes here.
In and out of makeup.
Wearing my little necklace here.
That's your own? That's one of your own designs, not just your own jewellery.
And it's very meaningful to me. Well, her name's Ruby, so we thought Ruby, Ruby, good. And the little feather makes it unique and different, and it's quirky, and she only wears one piece of jewellery all the time.
Trying to kill that child?
I'm trying to save it. Arguably, Jane's most famous role was as Dr. Quinn, medicine woman. One of the very first episodes featured a topic that is relevant in these COVID times.
Influenza.
I think it was our second episode was about a pandemic. The beauty of Dr. Quinn was literally every subject we deal with today, we dealt with back then in 1870. The good news is it means that Dr. Quinn is always current. The bad news is that we haven't learned anything, have we?
I know who you are, what you are, and why you come.
Then there is the role that introduced audiences to the British actor. Would Solitaire have predicted the pandemic?
Probably after James Bond ruined her ability to see the future.
That's it.
Sex got in the way, what can I tell you? It happens to some.
Solitaire is, hands down, my favourite Bond girl from every single film.
Oh, thank you very much. It was a fun role because most of the Bond girls were sort of two-dimensional, glamorous women wearing very few clothes, and I was playing a virgin, so it was a little different.
First time in my life, I feel like a complete woman.
They didn't always last too long through the film either.
No, I did. I made it to the end. I was looking a bit like the Queen Mum at the end, but that's okay.
Last year marked Jane's 5th decade as a working actor, and not even a global pandemic has stopped her from being sent scripts.
My agent told me that I was literally the only client they had that was working.
Wow.
And to top it off, I have actually got 3 other series that I'm committed to and a movie, and all of them seem to think I can go and shoot. So I said, how does that happen to a woman who's almost 70?
Because she's brilliant.
Because she puts a grey wig on. I'm happy. I love working. You know, people say, well, why are you going to Australia? And I said, well, it's safer than home, isn't it?
What do you love about Australia?
I'll tell you what I love. Oh, let's just get this straight. I love your Tasmanian wines.
Oh, that's...
And your coffee, yes. And I love the people, and I love the film crews. And I love the government for being able to keep this place comparatively COVID-free.
Cast and crew have had to abide by an enormous number of special rules and regulations to enable production on this movie to carry on during COVID-19 pandemic. And it did add some dollars to the budget, but every single person here has done it without complaint because it's great to be back at work.
I've been literally a politician more than a filmmaker over the past 6 months, but in terms of what we're doing here, the general consensus is that everybody wants to get to work, so they're ready to wear masks.
Yes.
They're ready to sanitize. They're ready to space. They're ready to follow the philosophy of one goes in, one goes out. We're all eating individually packaged food. There is a lot of regulations and a lot goes into putting a movie together like this, and it does affect the budget of the movie, but we're passionate filmmakers, and Australians, we're very resilient, we're tough people, you know, fair income, and we fight hard. So we're doing it, and we have a great advocate here in Jane Seymour as a part of the team, and we're so excited.
Still to come, how to upcycle a supermarket